We now return to the Mana Symbol channel. Alrighty, Sue, coming at you live from Oakville, Ontario with Blue-Green Uro's Nexus in Modern. So I grabbed this from last week's 5-0 deck dump. This is the more exciting blue-green deck that I got to play, other than blue-green Urza. So this is a Wilderness Reclamation deck. Wilderness Reclamation, from its standard infamy, is a 4-mana enchantment that says at the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. The major difference between this and previous effects that were similar to this is those would untap your lands and or permanents during your opponent's untap step. This actually leaves it on your turn. So one of the silly things you can do is this trigger goes on the stack during your end step. You can tap your lands and float the mana, then untap your lands and sort of get double your mana, with the only restriction being that you play instants. So there's two ways to use this card. The one is exploiting that floating mana to use instants at the end of your turn. Or you can cast sorcery spells during your turn, and then at the end of your turn untap all of your lands in order to have the maximum amount of mana to interact with your opponent on their turn. So it's powerful in both control decks, but also these very strange Reclamation-style combo decks that popped up at the time. Now, one of the most infamous cards from those as well was Nexus of Fate, which was so obnoxious it actually was in talk for bans in Standard. It is banned in Best of One Arena because of the necessity of certain decks to have sideboard cards in order to combat this. So this is a 7-mana instant that says take an extra turn after this one, but it also says if Nexus of Fate would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal it and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. So it never can enter a graveyard ever. If they Ashiok mill this, it will still shuffle into your library. There's no time where this ever will enter your graveyards. It's very difficult to remove this card from your opponent's deck. With these two cards, what the rest of this deck is a blue-green control deck that is trying to put Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, into play, and playing Ice-Fang Coatl and Remand as some interference, as well as cards like Archmage's Charm, Force of Negation, Cryptic Command, and Factor Fiction for exceptional card advantage. We're going to try to get our mana into a very accelerated place where we're able to shut down whatever our opponent wants to do on their turn. We are playing the Mystic Sanctuary engine. We're playing the Mystic Sanctuary engine here, so we can loop our Cryptic Commands, and we get all sorts of access to extra silly lines with Wilderness Reclamation in play. So we're playing all sorts of the best blue and green sideboard cards in the Modern format, as well as 2 copies of Engineered Explosives. Blue-green has a hard time destroying most types of permanents. You can destroy artifacts and enchantments quite well with green cards, but creatures and planeswalkers are going to give us a bit of trouble, so we want to make sure as much as possible that we bring those in when we need to deal with those. Ashiok is one of the best hate cards in this format against both graveyard decks and anyone looking to search through their library. Aether Gust, exceptional against Titan. Ceremonious Rejection, good against both Green Tron and Eldrazi Tron, and a few other things. Weather Storm is definitely good against the Prowess deck, sometimes the Storm deck, and Veil of Summer there for a lot of the black disruption in the format. So we're going to rock into a league with this bad mamma jamma and see what we can do. Roy the boy, you are my most frequent attendee to the stream. What do you think of this bad boy? Looks like a nightmare of a deck to play. Hey man, this is where I get off. I know the Planeswalker deck was fast. This is definitely going to be slow and mostly fair. Luckily, I have this handy dandy stop during my end step that I always have there. So this is a really good hand in the dark. If we're against an aggressive deck, we have good spells to play. If we're against a less aggressive deck, we also have good spells to play. Tapped Stomping Grounds. Any deck that's playing Stomping Grounds does not want to play it tapped. So I have no idea what we're up against, but it's probably not a good hand for them. Verdant Catacomb. Could be Jund. It could be Jund that drew their Stomping Grounds on the opening. And no black discard. So if this is a turn to Kroxa, that's pretty confirmed. Green. Okay. Ran and Sex. Yeah, that's pretty good here. So we're going to be able to eventually bounce that with our Cryptic, but otherwise... Could be 4-color Kiki Court again. Yeah, Jund. Yeah. Just Jund with a slow hand. So we're Thought Scouring ourselves. We're not playing Drown the Lock, and my opponent has a Ren and 6 in play, so pretty tiny amounts that could be gained from Thought Scouring our opponent. We're definitely shocking in here because I want interaction up this turn. I suppose I could have played the Polluted Delta, but the Delta doesn't fetch a forest, so depending on what they play this turn, we could elect to not interact and then play the Ice-Fang Coatl. So we'll see what's up. But likely we're remanding a 3-mana spell here. Green, red. Klothys. Klothys is great. I'm going to jam that with a remand. Maximum tempo value. So we're really looking for Wilderness Reclamation sometime soon. Klothys coming down next turn to chomp up my Uro is not my favorite thing in the world. Hey, look, it's that thing I talked about. So if we play Uro this turn, I have 1 untapped mana. Then they get to play Klothys, but they don't get to eat anything this turn, and then I can escape the Uro next turn. So pretty into that. They haven't played any discards so far, but I think playing Uro into Delta and then having Thought Scour up next turn is our biggest gain here. So kind of got to clench a little bit and hope our Jund opponent doesn't have Klothys into discard spell here. But even if they do, it's not devastating for us. We can always draw another Wilderness Reclamation, or there's plenty of good things that end up happening here. The umpteenth Thought Scour, sure. Well, if we find an Uro, they're not going to be short of food. Let me tell you, Uro is a hungry, hungry boy. Black mana this time. All right. Oh, is it Klothys again? It's Klothys again. If it's Klothys with no follow-up, that would be groovy. That would be gravy of the wavy variety. Wavy gravy, one might call it. Yeah, all right. Sick. So end of turn Thought Scour ourselves again. Mystic Sanctuary is pretty neat. Oh, we milled a Nexus and then shuffled back in. Nice. Okay, so I can put a card on top, cast Uro, and then draw it. Alternatively, I could keep up Cryptic this turn, play Wilderness Reclamation. If I play Reclamation, I get 1 mana free at end of turn. So I could play Field, play Reclamation, end step Ice-Fang, and have Cryptic Command up. It means their Klothys gets to eat my Uro. I'm not crazy about that. Uro doesn't have Flash. What a trash card. I agree. Uro should definitely have Flash. I definitely think that Uro is likely to die to a Fatal Push, although they've been cutting lower on that card as of late. And I think ramping more lands into play is going to be good. Plus, I can reset something with the Sanctuary. So Ice-Fang into Reclamation here is the more conservative line, or we go Field of Ruin, Uro, flip the Sanctuary into play. Sanctuary puts Factor Fiction on top of my library, and then we can No, we can't Ice-Fang. We can Thought Scour. So I think that's where we're at. I think I escaped the Uro first because I could draw a green land. If I draw a green land, then I can play the Ice-Fang this turn cycle. So, yeah. So exile land, Thought Scour, Growth Spiral, and other Thought Scour, because I still have one. And here comes the Uro. Have we seen a Bloodbraid? We have not. Hey, look, it's a green source, just like I said. So we can play the Misty Rainforest. Do I have a forest in my deck? I do. I know I have one. So that's fine. I can Mystic Sanctuary to reset my Factor Fiction, play the forest, and then have the mana up for Ice-Fang Coatl. I could have reset my Remand this turn. That would have been better. But we're past that now, so gonna get a forest. Oh, we can remove something in response to. No, we can't. We can't. We could have removed something in response to the Colossus trigger if I was clever. If I wanted to be more clever there. I think we're just resetting the Factor Fiction here, and then we'll have Ice-Fang Coatl up. And if we get to the next turn, we're in big business. It's so weird your deck doesn't have Ren and 6. I wish it did. I wish this deck was also playing Ren and 6. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. It doesn't feel like that much, but we really do. Our opponent has 8 cards in hand, but worth noting is when you're playing against Ren and 6, your opponent can look like they have a lot of cards in hand, but since they've used the one fetch land over and over and over again, they actually might have just been drawing lands, and they're just holding 3 or 4 lands. So, Assassin's Trophy. Sure. I don't mind being ramped right now. I'll take it. And this means I get to play Thought Scour and Ice-Fang Coatl this turn, so interested to see what kind of threat comes. Courser of Grufix? Wow. Yeah. That's I don't think that's going to be good enough here, but okay. Thoughtseize would be pretty good here. Let's see if they got it. Ren 6, pick up no land? Yeah, I guess. What are they playing? It looks like the way their deck is constructed, maybe they're more likely to actually be able to attack with Colossus than the usual Jund deck, which I guess is something. The 4th Thought Scour. All right. So we can escape Uro and play Wilderness Rec in the same turn? No, not if I don't draw another land. Because I can't currently escape Uro. So did I screw up somewhere here? Because I was pretty sure I was supposed to draw a... Pretty sure I was supposed to draw... What am I talking about? Pretty sure I was supposed to draw a Factor Fiction there. I must have screwed something up. Anyway, we can play Wilderness Reclamation and Thought Scour. Okay, I could start by Thought Scouring myself and see what we draw. Hopefully we draw a land. I actually am going to Thought Scour my opponent here to get rid of their second Assassin's Trophy. Yeah. Do I want to field them? No, I want to Thought Scour them, I think. I'm just going to Thought Scour my opponent. Okay, that wasn't a land, but we do get to ding their Ren and 6 here, so let's do that before we do anything else. And then I think we play Wilderness Reclamation. And then end of turn, we're going to play Nexus and Archmage's Charm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 10. So yeah. So let's just Archmage's Charm ourselves now. Blue, blue, blue. So unfortunately means we didn't get to draw an Uro. Or we didn't get to put an Uro into play here, which would have been really good. And we couldn't field first. We didn't have quite enough mana. Cool. So now we take another turn. We have a lot of mana on this turn. I think I definitely want to escape Uro. So let's do that, because it's going to draw us a card. So Thought Scour, Flooded Strand, Breeding Pool, and Thought Scour? Sure. Oh, no. I gotta keep Remand or Archmage's Charm. I've got a second charm in my hand, so Remand is slightly more valuable right now. Hopefully we pick up a land here. I would like more mana, or another Nexus of Fate. Field is okay. So Uro's in now. We're gonna go attack. We're gonna attack Ren 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I go end step, I can Archmage's Charm to draw 2, float 2 mana, see if we pick up another Nexus here. Leaving Ren 6 in play is not really a problem anymore. We get to Nexus this turn. We don't have a Nexus this turn. Or are you behind? Yeah, you're behind, I think. Okay. I think Roy is still in the last play. I can field into Nexus here, but the Peat land on top of their deck is not bad, so I'm just gonna charm myself. Hey, look, a Nexus. All right, sick. So we go end step, tap 2, untap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Nexus for all my mana. I've got 4 mana untapped. So I think we tap their board, bounce their Klothys here. Yeah, okay, they just scooped. That's fair. They probably think we're playing 4 Nexus. I think with the non-deterministic nature of what was happening on our side of the board, the line that I took in general was fine. It ended up being kind of awkward and crappy, but Peat land annoying with Ren 6. I don't think so, not for this deck. We're just going to tear past them. Yeah, I definitely could have fielded first, but I think the way I ended up spending all my mana was good there. I think Engineered Explosives is good against their deck. They've got a lot of 2s and 3s that are really good to kill. I don't think I want Aether Gust against Jund because a lot of their threats are black, although in that game we saw like none. So maybe we do want Aether Gust. I bet we do. I saw literally no discard spells, so I'm hesitant to bring in Veil of Summer. I think we could board out 2 Remands and Archmage's Charm, something like that. And then for the Engineered Explosives, 1 Ice-Fang. We didn't really see that many creatures that Ice-Fang could kill, so maybe even 2 would be fine. And I kind of want Ashiok as well because it attacks their graveyard. Jund is a very good deck in that it is very difficult to attack. It's so hard to pinpoint what the things in Jund are that you need to beat. That's why the Niv Mizzet deck is so good against it, because it's just a pile of like all-purpose Swiss Army knife removal spells and like infinite ability to draw cards. think I want one Ren and 6 over the course of the game, so maybe one Ren and 6 for one Ashiok. I think I want one Ashiok over the course of the game, so one Ashiok for Cryptic, one Ashiok for a Thought Scour could be okay. So we end up being a bit more chonky on the curve, but I think I'm pretty happy with this board. I do want Ashiok. I definitely want Ashiok. It's just, is Ashiok better than some of the grease and some of the sort of general engine of the deck that I have going? So it's actually a kind of medium hand, no interaction, but we do have this Ashiok that they're likely to want to have us discard. They mulligan to 6, so we got the luck running hot in this league. Super hot. Whoa, Doctor! It's a raging ravine, and that is one heck of a way to start a game of Modern. Reminder, folks, chat lands in Modern. No, I'm sure it was Roy. I think it's funny at this point. I don't know if we're spending too much time together. Mike has described this with him and Graham, where at certain points they would just like start thinking alike in a funny way about judge rulings and stuff like that. But it's funny, sometimes we get to the same sort of trains of thought in the same time period. Okay, that was an excellent draw. Sort of. So the reason I am like, it's pretty good. Wow, what? Past the turn? Oh, God. Oh, my God, opponent. Roy, do you think I'd be more popular if I was like, opponent, opponent, opponent? Oh, my God. I could have left that in play, played the island, and then fetched a Mystic Sanctuary, but whatever. Okay, this is actually an odd-ish turn. An oddish turn. I think jamming Ashiok seems really good here. And then I can reset a spell from my graveyard. And then play Wilderness Reclamation next turn. Yeah, I think I'm doing that. Opponent! Opponent, opponent, opponent! Ah, Saffron. If you ever watch this video, you're a delightful human, but your voice is ridiculous. Why do you look like a lumberjack with that voice? Yeah, Growth Spiral into Ashiok was probably better than what I did. I don't know why I thought things out. I think it's because I want a Mystic Sanctuary here, and if I wanted to cast the Growth Spiral, I wouldn't be able to do that because I want to put the Remand on top. Because then this turn, we'll just cast the Wreck, but because of the Remand, I have interaction. And okay, I'm going to mill them once. I just want to see more of their deck right now. Tireless Tracker, Inquisition Force. They're like budget Jund. Okay, and I think we're going to Growth Spiral at the end of turn. Just use the one extra mana we get here. Still have 4. So if I draw something like Factor Fiction or Cryptic Command. Nope, none of that. All right. If you've never watched a Saffron Olive video, you will be shown at some point. He has the most ludicrous voice in all of Magic, especially for the fact that he looks like a big lumberjack, big ginger lumberjack. Have we seen discard? Well, whoa. We just milled their Inquisition of Kozilek, and then here's their hand with Kroxa, Fatal Push, Collective Brutality, Trophies, and Oracle of Moldiah. Opponent's deck is full of spice. Definitely high on the spice train. Hold on, let me grab up a clip while we're searching for the match. Let me get some Saffron Olive in your life. He's delightful. Not the best Magic player in the world, but you know, wonderful glance at my YouTube feed.
Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and right now you can get this sweet Scoop Soldier sticker when you order over at cardkingdom.com. Just mention in your order notes that you want a Scoop Soldier sticker when you go to checkout. Known as Saffron Olive.
There he is.
Time for another instant deck tech, and today we are heading to Modern.
Look at his glorious gingeriness.
New take on, I guess, the Affinity archetype, but with a twist. This is
Never heard his voice at normal speed. Oh, Roy, you monster. Alright, we're keeping this hand. We need to draw more lands, but I'm playing 25, so it should be fine. So, he's very ginger, right? Like it's not a little. Like, he's a ginger lumberjack. And my voice, after watching that clip, immediately went slightly more Saffron Olive than it was before. Okay, I need a green source anyway, so I'm going to fetch Shock a Breeding Pool now, and we are against probably blue-green Urza, so this Remand might be super useful. Still looking for that land, but we've got at least one draw at it. He's much more entertaining at 2 times speed. Agree to disagree. I don't need him any faster or higher pitched. Okay, so without the next land in my hand, oh, I suppose if I don't draw a land off Growth Spiral, I can drop in this Mystic Sanctuary for no value. And then if I draw the land on my turn, yeah, okay. So we're playing Growth Spiral here. Opponent is unlikely to counter it. We didn't draw the land, but if we draw land on our turn, then we're good. We did not. I'm gonna Thought Scour myself in a vain attempt to draw land. Do I main phase this Ice-Fang Coatl? I think so. There we go. And we do have Force of Negation for their turn, so they shouldn't be able to play Urza here, assuming that they're playing an Urza deck. Actually, they could be playing any number of things. Okay, they're probably playing Bant Control, so Force of Negation should be good if they... Yeah, should be good if they play Teferi 3 here. I think if they play Teferi 3, we probably pitch the Uro, because then we have the maximum amount of Sacred Foundry. It's Jeskai. No, it's 4-color? 4-color at least. What in God's name is happening? I don't know, but I'm in love with it. Man, they have no idea how to tap for what they're trying to tap for. You too, man. I'm having a blast. They could be playing Niv Mizzet. Okay, so I think I force... And I think... Yeah, I think we're exiling Uro here. No, they're probably not playing Niv Mizzet with Ice-Fang Coatl. I think we're exiling an Uro here. Some Quarantine Magic limit testing. Another Astrolabe? Sure. So I can reset my Force of Negation now if I want to. I think I'm okay with a random card draw. Swinging with the Ice-Fang. Yeah, we'll block. Is there any card in my graveyard I want to reset right now? No, I'm pretty happy to draw land if I can. Like that. Pitch Nexus Uro draws you a card. Yeah, but I only have 2 Nexus in my deck. I guess given the current game state, yeah, you're probably right. I think I should have pitched the Nexus. It's uncastable for a good while. Oh, maybe they're playing the sick 4-color Stoneforge deck that I saw. Ooh, okay, they could cast the Stoneforge. They choose not to. Okay. I think we're just going to Growth Spiral in a turn. I'm not interested in resetting anything yet. That's disgusting if we get to cast it. Question is, do I want to play it into their open mana? I could Cryptic on their turn, and then they'll interact with my Cryptic, and then I'll get to Wilderness Rec into Nexus next turn. So I think that's where we're at. Nexus without any draw spells in my possession is not great. It's another Ice-Fang? That's fine. Don't need to worry about that. So we're going to go counter draw. It's a good chance they have interaction for this. Okay. Drew another Uro. That's awesome. Hopefully they don't Teferi me. That would be brutal. Ha! Oh, boy. Yeah, that's really, 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 really bad for us. Yeah, probably should have let the Stoneforge resolve. If I was thinking ahead on the fact that they're a Teferi deck. Yeah. I don't know what my best draw here is, but that's not good enough. Wilderness Reclamation is effectively dead. These Nexus of Fates are effectively dead. And getting an Uro into play is, like, not that good. I think I'm just casting this Uro and hoping I draw land. Okay. So right now, I need to get to 8 mana. So I can play Wilderness Reclamation, Cryptic the Teferi, and then Nexus, and then Uro Nexus. Seems unlikely against the 7-card hand. They're probably playing Cat Combo in that pile. Sword of Feast and Famine. Gross. Yeah, this is about to get really bad for us. So we'll discard one of these Nexies. Yeah. That's the plan for the moment. Ren 6? Sure. I think my force on the Ren 6 was probably premature. I think we beat the Ren 6 out of the Jund deck earlier, so we really, really didn't need to be so aggressive against it. Another Astrolabe. That makes sense. So I'm going to get a tapped breeding pool for casting my Uro here. Oops, that was the wrong hotkey. Okay, so if Uro finds us another green source, we also get to play Ice-Fang, which is not the worst thing. Okay, cool. Wow! Alright. Scooping the main deck Mystical Dispute. That was savagery. Whew! Alright. Veil of Summer seems pretty good here. And Engineered Explosives. And Ashiok, probably. Well, the Veil of Summer doesn't deal with the Fairy, but Engineered Explosives does. Alright, this is definitely going to be one of the tougher matchups. We really are not well set up against that deck. I think Ice-Fang is not that good here. Trading with a Germ token is like pretty medium minus if we've already let the game get to that point. How good do you think Fact or Fiction will be? I think it's probably really good here, but I think we can shave on 1 for this level of interaction. So we're just keeping our engine stuff, but boarding just a little bit down on interaction. I think this is pretty good. I think we also kind of stumbled a bit in the beginning of this game, so I think we might be okay here. That was just a weird pile of cards to play against. I aggressively forced where I didn't need to. Good God! I am not keeping that hand. This is somehow a little bit better, but good Lord, this is weak. But I really, really don't want to go down to a 5 against this deck. And I know Roy is going to say, like, how could a 5 be worse than this? But it definitely could be. At least this has the mana to cast anything we draw. That is a great draw. Okay, turn 2 Remand. Turn 3 Force of Negation. Ooh, double fetch land, nothing. Got it. So a handful of lands, definitely a winner here. I think we go field. They're likely to fetch at some point. Although we don't have the free mana to field them, so... They could always fetch double basic, too. Although with their mana base, that's unlikely. Yeah. I'm not fielding you, friend. If they play Ice-Fang here, it's fine. Yeah. It's not putting an undue amount of pressure on us. My mulliganing is way better than when you used to chastise me. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I've seen some improvement. Okay, I think we field them here. I think most of their heavy threats are sorcery speed. The thing we could be giving them here is a free Ice-Fang. I don't think that's too bad. And I guess I have Force Pitch if I hit the emergency situation here. They path their Ice-Fang Coatl as a ramp spell. Sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, that is good in this matchup, but I'll take it. They will take that. I've seen it before. I'll see it again. So they're going to have 5 mana next turn, but luckily we're not tapping down. We got double Remand, so we should be okay. I can Uro into having a Remand up, but they've got all their mana up, so don't want to play Uro into a Mystical Dispute here, even though it's the front half of Uro. I think as a tempo play, they're likely to nail it. Shack. Teferi, sure thing. Get him. So I let that resolve. Then I fetch a Mystic Sanctuary. Then I remand the Teferi. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I'm aware if they have a Veil of Summer, we die here, but I think we're screwed no matter what, if that is the case. Well, I suppose I could pitch Uro and beat that. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I really don't want to. Remand the Dispute, you draw a card. Jesus Christ. But then they'd have a Dispute in their hand. I can't let Teferi resolve in this matchup, right? I just have to go all in. No, I understand. I draw 2 cards, but they get their Dispute back. I guess Dispute is generally good against our deck. If I pitch here, I have Remand for next turn. I would have remanded my own Remand. That would allow... Wait, what? With Remand mana up? Well, hi, Venom's Flame. That seems like a really good line, but I don't think that end part works. If I remand my own Remand, I'm tapped down. And then I can Force of Negation. You mean Force of Negation pitching the Remand? That's a really good line, actually. I think we've kind of screwed ourselves, but I think I got to force this pitching Uro. So I know what the top card of my library is. It's another Remand, so hopefully that's going to be okay here. I can actually reset the Force of Negation now. So yeah, actually that was a very clever line. I like that a lot. Thank you, Venom's Flame. Okay. Without them playing anything, do I put the Force of Negation on top? I don't think so. Little flooded. You were a little wrong, but I don't think you were wrong in a way that was like super detrimental, because I think remand my Remand and then pitch. Yeah, no, it is. But then, no, if I remand my Remand and then pitch it to the Force of Negation, then they veil me and they resolve their Teferi, which is savagery. Okay. So clearly I should have put the Mystic Sanctuary into play before, so I could put this Force of Negation on top before, so I could draw it during my turn instead of a random other card, but I made the choice I made when I made it. We're going to remand the Sword of Feast and Famine. Hopefully being able to pay for a Mystical Dispute is good enough here. It is. The question is, do I get the third Mystic Sanctuary here? I'm not going to. That's a good draw. Well, Doctor, we got ourselves a little bit of a ball game here. This is a weird matchup, I will admit that. This is 4-color Stoneblade versus blue-green Uro Nexus. Truly the Battle of Titans. I haven't seen a battle of titans like this since Dominic Harvey was faced up against Edgar Magalhaes in the finals of the face-to-face Open. Eh? You like that one, Roy? Eh? You like it? Do ya? Do ya? Felidar Guardian. I can't Force of Negation that? That is incredibly rude. That's incredibly rude. I can't... What? Why would you... I knew they were playing Saheeli Cat. That is 100% what the red is for. Okay, that's a good pickup. This is a less than good pickup. Okay, so if I Ashiok again, I lose Ashiok a turn faster. So I think I'm just going to hold on to the land in my hand now. I feel like Brian was playing this deck as he splashed the red off of Steam Vents instead of Stomping Grounds for Blood Moon. Yeah, that makes more sense if you're playing Mystic Sanctuary, which they're not. They're playing too many non-instants and sorceries. I could Ashiok us, but I should have done that before... I should have done that before the Thought Scour. Yeah, I should have Ashioked us before the Thought Scour. But I didn't. Now we're here. Yeah, because if we flip the Uro could come out and block the Felidar Guardian. Yeah, that's definitely true. No, we punted this match in a couple different places. When I say me, or when I say we, that's very generous. I punted this match up in multiple places. They have 7 cards in hand. I'd like to point that out. 7. I mean, I gotta try. Hey, we did it! I don't know what to say. I didn't expect to get this far. I think I'm Mystic Sanctuarying for Thought Scour. It's the last Mystic Sanctuary. That sucks so bad. Well, they're not playing infinite counter magic. That's nice to know. Thought Scour just mills me for 2, though. It doesn't actually gain me cards. All right, let's just flip it. They have an upkeep stop? Okay. Oh, well, that's kind of sweet. All right, let's Ashiok ourselves. See if we mill an Uro. We did not. What do you got, opponent? Force me, baby. Oh no, the second mystical dispute. God, we are so freaking screwed. Oh no, they just wanted to fetch. Got it. I will mill myself. Still no Uro. Did hit an Archmage's Charm though, so I get to reset that next turn, which is pretty okay. We could just die here though. Remember that. Saheeli, kill you. It's gotta be, right? They have so many cards. They're 30 cards into their deck, right? There's no way. Wow. Yeah, that's real good. Guess I shouldn't have held on to this Misty, huh? Oh, they're killing the Ashiok? No, okay, they are attacking me as well. Good. Thanks, Magic Online. Wow, we're so dead. Oh. Roy, I think their deck is better than ours. I think it's entirely possible. Venom's Flame, thank you for the follow. That is awesome. Getting close to that 50 followers mark, which is not particularly large potatoes, but let me tell you, it means something to me. And thank you for the insightful play advice. Even though the first one you came up with wasn't that good and would have resulted in a fairly disastrous situation, we were already in a disastrous situation, so you didn't hurt anybody. Resolve. Oh my god. Sure. Bounce your Astrolabe? Okay. I mean, mill ourselves. Like, literally the turn they play the Teferi, right? And still no Uro. Alright. It's all good. Planeswalker, Super Friends, Stoneforge, Saheeli Cat. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was real bad. It's cool. We had a good league with Planeswalker Prison Pals, which I know you popped in more recently, Venom's Flame, but you can find links to all of my YouTube videos at the bottom of the page here on Twitch. So that's pretty cool. Oh, Roy, did you check out the buttons? The buttons are new. There's new buttons. There's a schedule and everything. Put in a bunch of buttons. Button. Who's got the button? We've got the buttons. We didn't start the buttons. We're against Dragon Johns. Wow, this hand could be anything. It could even be a game win. It's so beautiful. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I'm a little, I'm annoyed that I took so long to do it. It was not particularly hard to do. Opponent bobbles themselves and then plays a fetch land. So this is very likely 4-color Death Shadow. Could be Jun Shadow. No Thoughtseize effect on turn 1 is great. Now the Growth Spiral is not too great. Ice-Fang Coatls are super good against Death Shadow, although if they are playing any of the red Death Shadow variants, they do have Temur Battle Rage. Womp womp. Tarmo Daddy, sure. Ice-Fang is good against you. So I want to fetch a Breeding Pool here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get basic so that I get to the Death Touch on Ice-Fang more quickly. I think playing Misty Rainforest here so that I can play either Ice-Fang or Growth Spiral at the end of the turn, get my new land in play. Ice-Fang Coatl is a card that I didn't play for a large stretch of time when it came out. So it's weird for me to, like, getting to play it finally. It was like, oh yeah, I have to do the thing. That is so good against us. Crap. Alright, well, at least it's only hitting for... Oh! They didn't give it First Strike and Trample. Well, they don't need to this turn, but next turn they will. Our Ice-Fangs are so narcissistic, they turn each other on. They do! Thanks for pointing that out, Roy. I'm glad to know that the Ice-Fangs turn each other on. I'm glad someone's turning the snakes on, to be honest. Okay, see now, there's a quote for the quotes. I'm glad someone's turning the snakes on, to be honest. Punished for not cycling more aggressively. Oh, and I meant a Growth Spiral there. Oh well. Sometimes you're talking and you screw up. Okay, so this is the third snow permanent. So this means they are going to have to Scions for the First Strike and Trample if they're clever. Draw a card, then discard it. They didn't. Interesting. What does that mean? They're down to 4 cards in hand, which is kind of great. We will need to start pinging their Scions soon. Fatal Push. Yeah, that's a good play here. I think I can let that one resolve, and then when they swing in, we go... Ice-Fang and fetch... Ice-Fang, fetch a Snowland? Because I can't get a green source that also is a Snowland at this point. I think we Ice-Fang, draw a card, move to blocks, assign the blocker. Now we sack the land. So even if they have the kill spell, we're not going to take damage this turn. So kind of put ourselves in the maximum upside situation. They fetch in response. Why now? Like, do you think I have something for 1 blue that's going to be relevant? I'm confused. We're going to Force of Negation, pitch in Growth Spiral here if we need to. TBR. Yeah. I suppose this means we're taking a whack of damage, but they still lose the Tarmogoyf. We take 9 damage from this. We go to 5. They have Royal Scions. Sneck won't die. It will absolutely die. Force a negation that. I don't know. What? Oh, right. Good. Sneck won't die is totally not the words that needs to happen there. But yeah, I got it. Yeah, double strike is the thing. It doesn't actually just double the power of the creature. You right. Yeah. No, but I'm glad you typed things. Thank you for typing things there. That was exceedingly useful. Roy, you caught me. You beautiful, brilliant bastard. Plus the alliteration was great. Hey, look. It's a 1-mana spell. It's a shame I didn't take all that damage. So I can Mystic Sanctuary to reset my Archmage's, reset my Force of Negation. But we need to start dealing with this Royal Scions. So we are in a rough spot here. I think I have to take a hit from Death Shadow this turn, and it's going to be for at least 8. Which sucks, but I think that's where we're at because I have to play Ice-Fang and attack the Royal Scions so they don't get to ultimate it. I don't have 3 islands yet. You are correct. This is coming into play tapped. Good catch. So I don't actually have options here. So we're going to play the Sanctuary, and then at end of their turn... At the end of the turn, we're going to play the Snake and attack the Scions. So hopefully we don't just straight up die here. Wait, we might be okay. This does have Death Touch, but they'll trample the Death Shadow. And then I won't have the Archmage's Charm, so we're in a bit of trouble. Yeah, I guess I could have main phased the Snake. There's very little reason not to do that, I suppose. Okay, well, let's see what their last card is here. Also, let's see if they're clever and they use the other mode on Royal Scions. Kolaghan's Command. Yeah. And they get back Street Wraith, so they get to 10 me here. Oh, and I lose my... I lost my creature. Yeah, this is really bad. This is really, really bad. Oh my god, it's so bad. Whew. Alright, We're dead. We're not technically dead. No, we're dead because this hits us for 6. Okay. I'm gonna pass the turn and see what happens. They could somehow screw this up. So we'll give them the opportunity to make the mistake. Okay, we just die. Cool. Okay, so EE is good here. Veil of Summer is probably good here. Aether Gust is also okay here because Royal Scions. I think we could like cut Nexus, Reclamation, Factor Fiction, and Archmage's Charm, something like that. We could do this. Just become the Turbo Uro deck, but I don't know about that. And we need to cut one more card. One of the Aether Gusts, I guess. I'm going to hit the washroom real quick and think about it. I'll be back, and then we will get into... Yeah, probably better than Factor Fiction. Yeah, Archmage's Charm is fine. I mean, when you say steal their threats, you mean literally the card Death Shadow, right? Like, but I think you're definitely right on that one. Question is, do we want to board out our whole engine like that? Is that worth doing? Well, I'm just saying it doesn't steal their Tarmogoyfs, but I guess they're probably on the 2-threat sort of package. We can steal more than one Death Shadow. That's true. All right. Board out one Thought Scour for an Aether Gust. Sure. All right. This seems okay. Hopefully our Veil of Summers line up. That's the one thing about this kind of matchup. Because they didn't like draw any early discard spells. Alright, we're definitely keeping this. It's like but it's plus. Like this hand has a plan. Playing Ice-Fang without Arcum's Astrolabe is like super medium in my feelings. But it's like it's definitely possible. It's just you have to think about it way more, which I guess is good card design. Do you have the guts, opponent? They do, and they get rewarded. Well, here goes my Remand. Shame. It's a total shame. Well, it just makes Snecklet... Really? They took my Growth Spiral. Interesting. It's funny because the way we boarded the Growth Spirals are actually a lot less important now. Huh. Guess they can be playing Veil as well. And if they are, yeah. Yeah, I wonder if we get Thoughtseize Veil. Yeah, they could have Stub. They could have Discard Spell Stub. We haven't seen any blue cards out of them yet, but they are definitely playing 4 colors, so yeah, that could be what they're up to. They didn't leave a green up, so yeah, they probably have stub here. Which puts us in a pretty rough spot, but hey, that's the game we're playing, so let's get horribly beat up here. Yep. Good hand from the opponent. Which this almost tears me in the other direction, which is like, oh, we should have just like kept our deck in like the combo sort of formation and just boarded in like the Veils and the EEs. Because game 1 went pretty well and they kind of squeezed that out at the end. Okay, this is pretty good. So we get to reset the Archmage's Charm for next turn and then have Fact or Fiction up. So, and no matter what they discard from us, we're going to be able to pick up something. So that's pretty good. Thank you, Uro. Uro doing some good work. Uro's doing Simic's work. Thoughtseize. Sure. I think we're picking up Archmage's Charm. Well, it depends on what they cast. Traverse. Yep. If they play a Death Shadow, I feel like I'm almost definitely grabbing Archmage's Charm. They don't play anything. That's smart. I think I'm getting Fact or Fiction here. I might main phase the Fact or Fiction after my land drop so they can't stub me. I could have fetched a green source to escape Uro there. I think this is okay. They have no threats in play and they can't stub me, so I think we're okay on this one. Another Uro going to my graveyard is fine. Oh yeah, I definitely remember to play land first. They literally played a Stubborn Denial this game. I mean, I have definitely made screw-ups like that, but I think I want the one with the lands. Snake is really good, but because each of these is a Mystic Sanctuary, and I already have an Uro to escape. So next turn we can escape Uro and then have Force of Negation up, and or most other things I can draw at this point. Okay, we won't have that, but we can escape Uro and draw any card from my graveyard, which is pretty good. Yeah. This is a good one. So I need a green source here. Forest is fine. Cast Uro. Green, green, blue, blue. Go. Misty. Flooded Strand. Growth Spiral. Remand. Uro. Cool. I don't want to exile the other Uro right away. Ice-Fang's fine. They could have Mystical Dispute here. Yeah, but I have a Remand that I drew. Luckily for me. Pew! Sick. Sick nasty. That's sick and nasty. Is sick nasty. Alright, Delta comes into play. Aether Gust in hand. And then we can reset Archmage's Charm, most likely. So we're going to let this Death Shadow hit us. There's almost no chance that it kills us. They definitely have a Mystical Dispute in their hand. We know about it, but they didn't attack. Okay, that's big game for us. So we're going to get Mystic Sanctuary. I think we're resetting Fact or Fiction here. Pretty sure on that. Fact or Fiction or Archmage's Charm, they're both pretty good, but I think Fact is slightly better. Archmage's Charm is definitely better. It's a removal spell or a draw spell. Or a counter spell. Can't attack with Uro, so just pass the turn. Suppose I could have aggressively Archmage Charm there, but the chance of them having a bunch of interaction for it is so high. Okay, so if I end of turn try to tag this, they can Mystic Dispute me, I can pay for it and Aether Gust. So they need to have Mystical Dispute and Stub. That would get me, but it's probably worthwhile. Because I can't Aether Gust the Stub. Stub's a hard counter here. Veil me. It's actually kind of one of the best things that could have happened there because I know they have Mystical Dispute and I could pay for it. So now they need a third piece of interaction. They need it. Woo doggy. Holy freaking crap. They still get to blow us out if they have the last piece of interaction. They scooped. They weren't dead to that. Although this was getting a third Mystic Sanctuary, which was getting me a Factor Fiction. But goodness gracious. Alrighty then. That was a bit of a... Wow, yeah. They're dead. Why are they dead? Oh, they were at 6. Holy crap, you're right. Sorry, I always forget the fact that Death Shadow... I'm used to playing control decks against Death Shadow, and I haven't played a control deck with Lightning Bolt in a while. Oh, that was great. That was great. All right, so packing our deck full of interaction kind of worked there. Maybe we could actually draw some Veil of Summers in a reasonable place this game. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy with how I sideboarded, and I can definitely agree with your choice that Factor Fiction was better than... Sorry, Archmage's Charm was better than Factor Fiction. Yeah. When I played when I play Niv Mizzet against Death Shadow, it's always one of those things in the back of my mind of like, oh, they get really low and like Lightning Helix, Renin 6, attack for 6. Like, that's the thing that can happen. We're definitely keeping this hand full of 2-mana spells with 2 lands and redraws. So, and Ice-Fang is excelente against them. Excelente. They mulliganed, so that's a nice place for us to start, right? Did they mulligan? Yeah, they must have done. They did. Yeah, cool. And I have Veil of Summer. Sick. Thick nasty. It's thick nasty. That's what it is. Having a good time here tonight. Let me tell you something, Roy. Well, Doctor, opponent being fast and loose with their life total on that Death Shadow deck. I finally found out what the thing that Adele and CeeLo does is. There is a name for it, which I freaking knew. I knew there was a name for it. Stub me, baby. Yeah. No, I will not pay for that. Wreck me. There is a name for what CeeLo and Adele do with their singing and talking, which is like I always notice that they have this lower teeth thing where they push the air through their lower teeth like that. It's called hyposibilance. And the thing that Damon from the Faithless Brewing podcast is called hypersibilance, where it occasionally whistles. Super sweet decks. So it has to do with the position of your teeth. Hello, Clarice. Yeah, I think Anthony Hopkins does it while he's playing Hannibal Lecter. They bobble themselves. Fetch. They were not happy with the result. Stamping Ground, sure. No spell. All right. So we're firing off a very sad growth spiral here. Oh, not that sad. Draw land. Draw land. Do it. Oh my god. Good job, little deck. Apparently our deck does want to win this one. You had the hot fire draws in the last game, so maybe we get a little more of that going on here. Hello, Clarice. They were slaughtering the spring lambs. If I draw a non-fetch island, my Mystic Sanctuary is on, so I want to not fetch there. More interaction is okay. I would like a way to win the game, but I suppose I boarded out the Reclamations in the Nexi, so yeah. Inquisition. Excuse me, I would like to remand this. I would like to keep my secrets, please. Veil of Summer, also a good draw here. They didn't fire it off again. That's suspicious. Alright. Drawing Mystic Sanctuary here means I'm going to sack this for an island. I'll get a breeding pool because I have enough snow permanents and my life total isn't in jeopardy. I'll play Mystic Sanctuary and put the Veil on top. So I have Veil, Remand, Veil here. So we are well defended with anything we're trying to play. We do need to make sure they don't resolve a Death Shadow. We can Aether Gust, a Tarmogoyf, or a Royal Scions, but we have no outs currently for a Death Shadow. Inquisition. I would like to veil you. Would you like to be veiled, opponent? You would. This is wonderful. Thank you. That one? Is that what you're talking about, Roy? I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Yeah, he does the lower teeth thing on that one. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is great in that role. It's a great movie, great role. Anyone who hasn't seen Silence of the Lambs, get your S together and do it. Okay, they know I have a second Veil in my hand, but I'm going to fire off this end of turn Ice-Fang Coatl. Most of their removal is in the form of Fatal Push, so we might be able to Veil that here. Now. Cool. Alright. 8-turn clock, baby. Oh, no. Trophy. Do I want land or do I want to Veil this? I guess I could remand it. Let's remand it, and then if they interact with that, I get to Veil it. This gives me more time. Okay, I think we Veil now. You get to draw 2 cards. Wreck 'em. Pay 3. Nah, I'm good. Still have this Assassin's Trophy, but like went up a lot of cards there. Veil of Summer, lol. You got that right, buddy. And then I can reset the Veil and remand and draw it again. And I've got Cryptic Command in my hand. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. Got him on a sick 8-turn clock. Ice-Fang Coatl. Why protected so hard? Why not just let Trophy resolve? I'm really light on win conditions right now. We're like just Snecks and 3 Uros. I don't have an Uro yet. I don't have a way to get to it, so I am pretty incentivized to keep my one very lethal threat alive right now. Think. Get my Sanctuary. Reset. Veil of Summer. And then remand the Goyf? No. Gust the Goyf. Yeah, I can just draw the Veil. And then I have Cryptic here, so if they go for the Assassin's Trophy, then I go Cryptic, bounce my Sanctuary. Opponent is not pleased. They're at 8. They're at 6 now. They keep putting their life to... They're going to shock themselves to 4 here? Yeah, the Ice-Fang is an actual threat. And it's also one of the best cards against all of their threats because the Death Touch means they're... Okay, so I can remand the Tarmogoyf, draw my Veil, and Veil... No, I can... Okay, no. There's no particular reason to get very clever with this remand. I just remand the trophy again and then draw my Veil of Summer. Alternatively, I could do the other thing I wanted, which is just Cryptic the Assassin's Trophy and bounce my Mystic Sanctuary. That's probably the best one. Counter target spell, return target permanent. So counter that, return this, go 1, 2, 3, 4. Skadoosh. Game day, bucket go, boom. This was the advantage to the way we sideboarded for this game. So now we Mystic Sanctuary for our Cryptic. And yeah, they scooped out. That's fair. So just wrecked them with Veil of Summers in that game. Very interesting matchup. Against Death Shadows, your first line gets rid of the trophy, your second line doesn't. That's true. But the Cryptic one worked. The Cryptic one was really good. And yeah, I found it in the Cryptic one. The Cryptic one was the best. Plus it used my mana more efficiently. Plus I was able to play the Mystic Sanctuary, reset the Cryptic, and my hand was going to be Veil of Summer Remand, which we were just like juggling their spells all game. I'm getting sick too for once. We're going to keep this hand. It's pretty already. Sack Scout. Yep. Probably finally ran into a Titan deck. So this Misty Rainforest is going to be a Mystic Sanctuary most likely. So this one can fetch an island, but since I'm going to need an untapped land anyway, I'm going to shock this Breeding Pool past the turn. Probably going to have to shock 2 Breeding Pools over the early turns here. Sunhome, alright. Got some classic Titan over there. Some classic Primeval Titan. So they got ramp on 1, ramp on 2, which is pretty good. So they have Titan mana next turn, so this remand might be incredibly important. And we milled a Nexus. Sick. The sickest of value. Growth Spiral's kind of an okay draw in case they don't play anything super threatening. So they didn't drop a land into play with Sakura Tribe Scout at end of turn, which means they don't have one, I think. We're definitely remanding whatever they play here, but like... Okay, maybe not that. I guess they don't have a second green, but I'd rather Growth Spiral and let this resolve and then remand what they find. Although I guess this finds them a land. Simic Growth Chamber, sure. So this effectively ramps them twice, but we're able to Growth Spiral here, then Uro next turn, and still have the remand up. Assuming that we draw the land. Azusa. Okay, that's getting remanded. With the Growth Chamber as a known in hand, I definitely cannot let that resolve. That is way too many freaking land drops. Holy crap. So they're going to bring in the Growth Chamber, so they definitely have Titan mana next turn, so we just have to hold up Archmage's Charm and clench that they don't drop Growth Chamber and a what are words, baby don't hurt me, Cavern of Souls. Completely not interesting to note there, we could have Archmage Charm to steal their Sakura Tribe Scout. Just thought everyone should know. They're gonna jam here. We're gonna jam back. Oop. 3 mana counter spell for blue, blue, blue. Seems good. Seems good, man. Wow, thanks, little deck. Alright, so now we start resetting cards and playing Cryptic Command. So unless they draw Cavern, and in this deck, this style of Titan deck usually plays 1 Cavern of Souls. So So we're going to reset... What? Do we let Azusa resolve this time? I think I do. I think the Azusa is not as threatening on this board, and they could potentially follow this up with a Titan. Have they made a land drop yet? They haven't made a land drop yet, and they haven't used their Sakura Tribe Scout yet. If they have a bounce land, but they don't have an amulet. So I think if I counter Azusa... Could also bounce the Growth Chamber, or could just counter draw. I think I can just counter draw here. They have 4 mana. They can only spend it on creatures and activated abilities of creatures. I just don't know how threatening this Azusa is this late into the turns. If I don't counter Azusa and they do nothing else threatening, I just get to Factor Fiction here, which is pretty gross. And I don't need to burn a Sanctuary. You like counter draw. Yeah. Alright. Let's reset the Archmage's Charm and counter draw. It's not super likely to get punished. I feel like it could, but alright. I feel like I have what I would refer to as a healthy fear of Titan. So the one thing that's seriously motivating me is the fact that Castle Garenbrig, this 3 mana can't be used to activate a second Castle Garenbrig. Cool. So they just pass on through. Thank goodness. So we're definitely in a reasonable spot here. I'd like to keep hitting land drops. I'm content with not, but I'd like to keep hitting land drops. I guess on this cycle we get to go... Sure. Man, they had the Castle Garenbrig, so if Castle Garenbrig could feed Castle Garenbrig, they would have been able to do that line. So on this one, we could reset Cryptic, Archmage's Charm, and Growth Spiral. Amulet of Vigor is okay. We can steal it, but it also doesn't make Titans uncounterable or anything silly like that, so... We've got the better height Titan, Apprehension. Why were you apprehensive? I don't like it. Okay, I think at end of turn we can go Archmage's Charm to draw 2, reset the Charm Growth Spiral. Yeah. There's another Cryptic. A sick nasty. And another land. So we're getting all the value here. Just blue-green in our way straight through this Ghost Quarter. All right, I'll float a mana. Sure. I'll float a mana. I think they were supposed to let my Mystic Sanctuary resolve before. Yeah. Because now I get the card on top. And this Growth Spiral. I think I should have gotten a green there. Whatever. It's fine. It's all fine. Drew land anyway, didn't need it. Okay, if I play Uro, I could draw a land, play a land, still have Cryptic. But I think I'm okay with passing here. I can play Archmage's Charm into Factor Fiction here, so I'm okay with this. I think I'm going to be ever so much more cautious than I could be there. Just not be too aggressive into disaster. Titan number 2? Yeah, it's only 2. Titan number 2 coming down on the Amulet player side. With this... Ooh. They don't play the Titan. Oh, they want to attack me for 1 first. Sure. I'll take your 1. I'll take your 1. And I'll do it with my shirt on. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. So we can fire this off and still have Cryptic up. So, and or Factor Fiction. Okay. End of turn, Factor Fiction. Eot Fawful returns. You were looking for a word for healthy fear. I call it apprehension. Yes, that is my constant state while playing against combo. Good God, they cannot possibly give me this pile. There's no way. Yeah, that's better. I'm taking the Reclamation, though. Reclamation is gross. Oh my god. Oh, please put more things in the Reclamation pile. Just put the Reclamation in 3. I don't care. Oof, yes. That one. I want that one. Jesus. All right, so we play Reclamation and an Uro this turn? I can play Reclamation and hold up counter magic, so let's do that. And then is there any way I get punished? Is there any way that they just wreck me here? Should I be more conservative than this? Should I just go end step and not cast the Uro? I know. I feel like they should have scooped here, you know? Like, it's just... I'm gonna go with the old school control player in me and just cool out. No reason to do anything hasty here. We're gonna reset Archmage's Charm. That means I'm gonna have double counter magic. We're gonna go to end step. We're gonna pool our mana. Gonna untap. Cast a Growth Spiral. Didn't draw land, that's fine. Cast an Ice-Fang Coatl. Draw the card. We can now block their Sakura Tribe Scout. We're going to realize that we could have sequenced those in the opposite order to increase the chance that we could have drawn the land and dropped the land. It's fine. Did they play Beast within main? I don't think so, but there's no reason to throw the game. Like, we're so firmly in control of this game. It was just like one of those moments where it's like, how do I lose this game? I lose this game by tapping down there. Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I have so many resources here. There's no point. EE on 2 to beat my Ice-Fang. Yeah, sure. Yep, you got it. I guess they haven't seen an Uro yet. So sure. Do I Archmage's Charm and steal their Amulet? No, I'm just going to draw 2. Wow. I'm just going to Factor Fiction. We're going to grab a Nexus here. Called shot. I mean, we're digging 5, but called shot. Oh, please put the Wilderness Reclamation and the Nexus in the same pile. Please. Please. All right, Roy, I haven't been having this much fun playing in a deck in a little while. Oh my god, what? Okay, good. Wow. Wow. I can't even. What is happening? Okay. So, okay. So, Growth Spiral. No. Second Reclamation. No, I guess if I draw another green, I can get the Uro into play. So I don't need the second Reclamation at all. Oh, I shouldn't have played the Growth Spiral. I should have just played Uro, escaped Uro, and taken a walk. So I have the Nexus, but Reclamation lets me cast a crap ton of other spells at end of turn, so we're going to play the second Reclamation. Okay, then we go end step. Oh, I can attack for 1. So surprisingly, this is actually easier to do in Moto. So we go tap 1, these trigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Trigger again. Field your Sun home. Get blue. Okay. We'll go Nexus to increase my Nexus density. Okay. Archmage's Charm myself. See if we just draw the Nexus straight up. Okay. Growth Spiral. We did draw a Nexus there. Still going to cast this Factor Fiction. Hopefully my opponent scoops at this point. Although this does burn more clock for them. We hit the second Nexus here, so I think we're just deterministic to kind of win. Yeah, that's fair. Now we're going to choose pile 1, put everything else in the graveyard that isn't a Nexus. We're going to Thought Scour ourselves. So we Thought Scour ourselves down to 9 cards in library. And pass to the turn. Now we play an Uro for green, green, blue, blue. Exile, Thought Scour, Field of Ruin, Flooded Strand, Polluted Delta, Thought Scour. Put that Uro into play. It's bad mamma jammer. Put this Polluted Delta shirt. I think that means we have one more island left in our deck to fetch, because we saw it on the last one. Yes, we do. Cool. Let's go attack step. The fetch was live. Yeah, I didn't draw another. The EE. You got me. Snake is dead. Okay, so cast Nexus. Go end step. Untap 1. Cryptic. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Draw a card. It's going to bounce one of my Mystic Sanctuaries. This is to pick up an Archmage's Charm for next turn. Drew another Cryptic. I'm going to fire off the other Nexus. So now I have 2 turns stocked up. 6 cards in library. Okay. And then I guess I could play something, remand it. And, we're getting too fancy here. Draw. Okay, so play Mystic Sanctuary. Pick up Archmage's Charm. I have another turn after this one. 6 cards in library. So Archmage's Charm is on top. I'm going to attack. I could charm their Sakura Tribe Scout before they block. Not really worth it. So I'll just let them block. I still have another turn coming. I'm going to Archmage's Charm myself to draw. And then Ice-Fang to draw. We still have another turn coming. So we're going to draw 2 cards on that turn. Here's another Nexus. So, yeah, and they scoop. So I was thinking about the decking situations. We have 2 Nexuses, and we have at least 14 mana every turn. So we can just tuck 2 Nexuses, take 2 turns, and then on our turn we draw 1, attack with Uro, draw the other, and play 2 Nexuses again. So it wasn't really a concern. Okay, so Ashiok and Aether Gust. And nothing else. Snake is less than great against Titan, especially when it can have double strike. And then Force of Negation is still pretty good. Remand's definitely big money. 1 Thought Scour, 1 Reclamation, something like that. Maybe 1 Factor Fiction, something like this. Decided to chime in when you thought about remanding your own spell. Yeah, no. That's the moment I said that, I was like, when I said I was getting too cute, I was like, that's going to burn a bunch of clock. It's just not worth it. We were semi-deterministic. I don't think Engineer's Explosives is worth it, because in order to kill their 1-drops, it has to come down for 3 mana. I guess you could proactively play it on turn 1. That's a pretty niche play. Like, it's definitely possible, but the question is, what do you cut? And I think the rest of this deck is better. I think Ice-Fangs are bad here, but I think EE is worse than most of the things that are in the deck. I think Ashiok is very good, because it lets them resolve a Titan, and then we could Cryptic it or Aether Gust it when we untap. So yeah, well, so that's always the trick with sideboarding, is you always need to make cuts, and like you play linear decks more, or you play, in fact, In the infect style, you want to board out as little as possible. I think most of this deck is pretty important to the deck functioning. I don't think it functions if you go down too many cards. I think it starts falling apart. There's not enough grease for all the clunk. So a turn 1 Sanctuary hand is not great, but Double Charm is really good. Although worth noting that without the Remand last game, we would have been in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. And like a true mid-range deck that I'm more used to playing might go like 8 in, 8 out, or 9 in, 9 out in certain matchups. But this is not like a true mid-range deck. This is much more of a combo-year, engineer pile. I think pile is accurate. Seen Josh board in 9 against me. Yeah, exactly. Like, Jund can do that. Mid-range decks. Yep. Ooh, buddy. Oh. Whew. All right. We're most of the way through the danger zone. I went to the danger zone. Do. They did mull to 5 or just 6? Mulligans to 6. Yeah, just mulligans to 6. Explore. So I can force that. I'm up a bunch of cards here. I have an excess Archmage's Charm. But if that hits them, an untapped land, that gets them almost to Titan. I think I can force this. Roy, weigh in here. What do you think? Force it? I think we can force it pitching the Archmage's Charm. Yeah. Well, but that's only if they have Summoner's Pact. Yeah, I know, but like, yeah, okay, we're going to force, yeah. So we're up on cards here. We've got a lot of incentive to just slow their roll right there and just say, stop, hammer time. I would like to have more time to cast my Growth Spiral, and then this Ashiok, and then seriously mess you up. I'm getting a breeding pool here. I want to have my Mystic Sanctuaries live sooner rather than later. That was an excellent draw. Okay, I think we pass with Charm up because I have more things to do with my mana. Because it's very unlikely that they Titan next turn, but most things that they do play, wow, they don't have any lands. That's really good for us. If it gets to end of turn, we go Archmage's Charm, get Mystic Sanctuary, reset Archmage's Charm. Okay, so there's a Growth Chamber. Yeah. For some reason, it's not. Yeah, I mean, match might work. I'm not sure if it will. It hasn't been updating it in the chat, so I don't know if that's working right now. Draw 2, reset the charm. Yeah, that's pretty good. And now I have a Aether Gust, so even if they draw Cavern of Souls, we're good. Might be an argument for charming their Amulet Vigor. I think that's disappeared now, but there might have been an argument for charming their Amulet of Vigor earlier. Well, They're kind of on the double mulligan. This board state, Roy, should have had the engineered explosives in here. That's one thing that's for damn sure. Not playing EE gave up all the equity, lost the game. No attack. All right. We're going to factor fiction here, and we're basically looking at whichever pile has the most lands in it. Okay. Pretty good piles. Really? I would not recommend that opponent. I would put 2 lands with Uro. Jesus. There we go. No? There's no way. They have to put a land with the Cryptic. They can't give me 4-1. I mean, I'm okay with it. Just, you know. Yeah, I'm definitely taking triple land pile here. Okay, so we can go land, reset. We want to reset a Cryptic now because I don't have any Mystic Sanctuaries left in my deck once I use the last one. So we reset, and then we play Uro to ramp the one in my hand. We're going to be overcarded, but I think we'll just end up discarding the second. No, we're not going to have a second Uro. It's fine. Pick up the Cryptic and ramp. So now we have access to Archmage's Charm. Oh no. Yeah, no, we have 7. Cool. We're good. What's the German word for anticipatory celebration? I don't think there is one, but... Schadenfreude? Wait, no. In theory, do they have enough mana to double Titan here? They do, right? If they have a Karoo in hand, that's 8 with Sakura Tribe Scout, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, they could double Titan here. Luckily, they didn't. I was so ready for it to happen, like end step. Okay, getting Breeding Pool, Shocking Breeding Pool, playing Growth Spiral. Flooded Strand. Oh, I should have put in the Misty so I could get the Snow-Covered Forest. Although it doesn't matter if I do this now or after. And then I guess I'm going to go get another island. There's no more Mystic Sanctuaries left in the deck. Oh, there's a third Breeding Pool? Oh, good God. It's so beautiful. Playing a 2-color deck is so much more reasonable than playing a 4-color deck. Roy, is this what I've been missing? Is this what I've been missing? Yeah, I mean, playing Ashiok would have been okay on the previous turn, but because of the potential for Karoo double Titan, but feels good. 2 colors, blue and green. Do you like the colors blue and green, Roy? Do you like those? I feel like they're all right. Okay, so they have the Karoo, so they can double Titan here. The consistency is... Yeah. So we can remand the first Titan and then charm it on the way back. So it wouldn't matter if they had to. We can Aether Gust it, but... Remand and then Archmage's Charm is fine because we have Cryptic and Aether Gust next turn. We just have so much here. We don't even need so much of this. Yeah. UG, nice. BG, nice. They're going to keep the crew, most likely. They have 1 mana left afterwards, so I'm terrified of the Veil of Summer, but even if we get Veiled here, we have Ashiok, so the Titan doesn't search, and then we can Cryptic it, or... Yeah, that's fair. Remand cantrips and Gust of Fate. They didn't recast it. It's a bold play, Cotton. Let's see how it works out. I Archmage's Charm, end of turn. So I still have 2 counters. So I know they have Titan in hand, and I know they have the mana to... Oh, I should have Thought Scour in there. Okay, well, we drew a Reclamation anyway, so we're going to be fine. So let's... We're going Thought Scour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. Thought Scour, Reclamation, Uro. Sick. All right. Unless they have... Okay. On the same Wisdom I used last time, and they have 3 mana open, so let's go ahead and not tempt fate. We'll go end step. And then we could bounce their Simic Growth Chamber and steal their Secure Tribe Scout, but that puts us in a bad spot with a bunch of stuff. No, we're just letting this go. We're just passing the turn. Yeah, Beast Within is very realistic here in game 2. They didn't have it, but it's very, very realistic for them to have it there. Okay, so this is going to be Cryptic Counterbounce, followed by Archmage's Charm if we have to. We want to get the Cryptic Counterbounce going. Sorry. Every now and then I get really paranoid about the number of times that I've screwed that up. Boing. We've got the Aether Gust for the second one. Yeah. Or even Veil, we would have enough here. Hornet Queen. Whoa. That is sick. So we're going to gust this one. And the next turn we get to go Mystic Sanctuary, reset Cryptic, cast the Uro. Yeah. They're on 0 mana this time, so we're in a really good spot as far as that goes. Wow. So yeah, Mystic Sanctuary, reset, Cryptic Command. Yes. Cast Uro. Green, green, blue, blue. Exile, Scour, Flooded Strand, Polluted Delta, Misty, Growth Spiral. Sure. Draw my Cryptic. This time they're entirely tapped down. I suppose they could have Force of Vigor. So I guess I shouldn't commit my second Wilderness Reclamation here. It's really not a lot to be gained here. I'm going to start milling them with Ashiok. With the second Ashiok on my hand, there's a reasonable chance that milling them out could just happen. Like, incidentally. Oh, we exiled a Cavern. Well, that's pretty sick. I'd really like to get that Simic Growth Chamber out of their hand. Stirrings is fine. They got Bajuka Bog. Oh, that's somewhat unfortunate. It's way too late, though. Okay, they passed the turn. Do I Archmage's Charm and then no, I don't need to do any of that. Got it. Strand doesn't get me a Mystic Sanctuary. Just play it. Fetch for the land. Just want to thin my deck a little bit before I attack. There's still good spells to be drawn. Growth Spiral, nah. Oh, they can scout the bog in. Yeah. I think they usually do play 2 caverns, but so they are in fact planning to scout their bog in. Hit Teleria West, it doesn't matter. So they're going to bog me end of turn. It's not too bad. The fact that they can bog me repeatedly is kind of frustrating. But I don't think we're in any particular danger. Actually, if they're very clever, it means my Mystic Sanctuary is basically off. So we do want to kick our win into overdrive as soon as possible. I guess I could have been Ashioking myself earlier, because that gets me closer to having the deterministic Nexus set up. Remand's a good pickup. Okay, so with this in hand, I feel pretty safe. We're going to draw another card here. Hopefully we hit a Nexus sometime soon. There's a Nexus. Cool. Called shot. All right, so I think main phase 2, we're going to mill ourselves. So if I mill myself, we go 17 cards, take the next turn, 16 cards, mill myself, 12 cards, mill myself with the second Ashiok, 8 cards, draw 2 with Archmage's Charm, 6 cards. So we're like almost there. They can bog at instant speed. It doesn't affect the Nexuses. All right, we're gonna go for deterministic infinite turns here. If I start milling Nexi, it gets a little awkward. I didn't. Good. So we go end step. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Untap. Cast Nexus. Leave 3 blue. Shuffle in, increase my Nexus density, charm myself for draw, draw Growth Spiral, Force of Negation, doesn't help, but draw another charm here, and they scoop. Okay, so we basically had deterministic turns. We were very, very close with the 2 Ashioks, because we were going to go down to 13 cards, 9 cards, 5 cards. Yeah. And we still had a Cryptic. 4 cards Uro. Why didn't you play the second Reclamation? I don't know. That's a good question. I should have just played the second Reclamation there. I can agree with that. I think I was just still kind of hung up on the if they have Force of Vigor and they blow me out, wreck my 2 Reclamations. But I guess I could have always floated mana. Or I could have always held mana for the counter for it. Yeah, no, it's just getting a little bit too much inside my head. We are 3-1 with this one though. Just having a rollicking good time. What did we lose to? I'm trying to remember. They beat us really. Oh, it was the cat combo. Yeah, 4-color Stoneforge cat combo. 4-color Stoneforge Saheeli cat. I am proud to lose to that deck. It's Teferi Time Raveler is really, really good against Wilderness Reclamation. Let me tell you about Standard. The Wilderness Reclamation decks were big news until Teferi Time Raveler got printed. Oh, I've been on the wrong setup almost the entire league. Alright. Keeping this one against Tad's 60. Flooded Strand is not something we want to see on turn 1. Breeding Pool, also not great. It's just likely to be a Teferi deck, and Teferi is a big problem for us, but hopefully between the remands and the rest of the cards that we draw, we can get through it. I don't have a green card in my hand, so I think I don't need double green anytime soon. I can need the triple blue for Archmage's Charm. All right. I was thinking about being cute and playing the Field of Ruin to conceal the colors that I'm playing a little bit more. Ice-Fang resolves. Stifle it. Ooh. Go back to Legacy, nerd. Where Stifle occasionally takes over metagames. Oh look, blue-green lands and Field of Ruin. Unfortunately, I don't have an end of turn play. Unfortunately, I drew a Remand. Field me, baby. Do it. Oh, they did it. Neato. This makes me have a non-island in play or no green mana. But I can field them back. Yeah. And force them to have the same consideration. Fuck. It's actually relevant here? That's so frustrating. I think I have enough remands that I'm going to count on drawing another island. Yeah, we're fielding them back. It's kind of a neat sequence of play there. That was really random. I've never had that happen before. If they get a green here and they play Ice-Fang, I would be like, what? That would have been sick, but they didn't. Please do not Teferi with Mystic Dispute main deck backup. That would be just the worst. Whew. And then untap land. Untap land? Okay, that's big money here. Okay, they're likely to be a Force of Negation deck. So I don't... Can I jam this Wilderness Reclamation? I can't, right? Because if they force me and then resolve that Jace, we're in huge trouble. Whereas I have Remand. I can take another turn here. Or I have Remand Growth Spiral, depending on how it goes. I think it's right to be conservative about the potential of Wilderness, or of Force of Negation. So they crack in for 1 here. They play Jace or Teferi 5 even, maybe. They go end step. Interesting. So we're going to Growth Spiral. Put in Mystic Sanctuary, reset. Thought Scour? Maybe? Yeah, Thought Scour. Draw. Thought Scour myself. I'm going to draw a land. We did it. Sick. And we hit an Uro. Nice. How we're going to play around Force, we're going to get up to enough mana. That's how we're going to play around it. We're going to have 6 mana, and we're going to play Wilderness Reclamation with Remand up. That's how you play around Force. Alright, end of turn, Factor Fiction? Yeah, seems good. I guess I could Archmage Charm myself instead. Don't think that this is Bant control. Wow! That's pretty good. That's insane, right? This is insane, right, Roy? Okay, so we're gonna take a pretty odd line here. I think it's gonna be right. Okay, so we're gonna Mystic Sanctuary back Growth Spiral. I'm gonna Thought Scour my opponent. Growth Spiral. Put in a land. And I'm down to 8 cards in hand, which is the best I could do there. So I'm going to discard 1 Misty Rainforest. So they gave us a 3-for-1 on the Factor Fiction. We didn't have to take too much of a hit on cards. Yeah. And tapped Breeding Pool. Play another Factor Fiction, because that gets my deck thinner for the eventual Nexi. I'm not worried about them playing any big threats at instant speed. Okay, so I think they're in for like they're in a situation where they're like in for a penny, in for a pound. Like, let's let all of the Factor Fictions resolve and let them have whatever they want, which is like crazy to me, but all right. Okay. So I think our play here. I know we're at reasonably low life, but we're still playing an Uro deck. I think we play Wilderness Reclamation with 5 mana left up. And we have a Force of Negation in hand, so we can kind of fight for it. They only have maximum 3 blue. So I can have Remand plus... This doesn't work. I could save my Reclamation, but I have more of them in the deck still, right? I haven't lost any. Have not lost any Reclamations. So I still should have 2 more in the deck. I know I can Remand the Reclamation. Don't... Am I playing too conservatively? Probably. Yeah, let's Remand it. This puts a lot of cards in my hand. That's the problem I have with this line, but I guess if they counter again, yeah. We drew a Nexus. Well, I think I'm discarding the Nexus. They do go down a card. They have 6 cards in hand still, though. Okay. Snapcaster. Snapcaster for just beats, I guess. I think if we resolve the Reclamation next turn, we just win. If I have the Nexus in hand still. I can Growth Spiral, which doesn't hurt my mana right now. I can play my own Snake right now. I think we just go and we let this resolve. That's fine. Pass the turn. On their turn, I can go... Hope this fetches life. I think there's at least one more island left in the deck. If there isn't, this is going to be a heck of a punt, but I think Reclamation wrecks them. I agree with you, but we need to make sure that they don't resolve Teferi 3. I think I'm taking the 5, or the 3, and going to 5. Please hit. Sick. Okay, so we're definitely playing Reclamation this turn, and we're just going to basically do whatever it takes to get it through. I don't actually have... Okay, Mystic Sanctuary is a pretty good pickup there. Play Mystic Sanctuary, grab back Remand, so I can Remand into Remand and have Cryptic. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. So I can play Wilderness Rec and have Remand, Force, Remand. Yeah, okay. So I want to play the Force first against whatever they play. Okay. So we have to resolve this turn. It resolved. Okay, so they're planning on countering my Nexus. Okay. We're going to go end step. Trigger. Untap. Cast Nexus. Force. Okay, so this is one of the few ways they can actually remove that from our deck. They pitched for it, so I could Remand first, draw the Remand off the top of my deck. Then they have to cast it. They're out of blue, so we'll Remand it again. Okay, Nexus resolves. Oh, another Force. Okay, I'm gonna Cryptic counter bounce. And we still have Force here. And they scooped. Interesting. So we're gonna draw a card for turn, cast Uro. We could have escaped Uro after we reset the top. All right. Yeah, well done deck. Well done deck. So Veil of Summer, 10 out of 10. Oh, my brain's melted a little bit. All right, so they're playing Bant. They didn't have a Teferi that they have to. They have to have Teferi 3s. So I think EE is probably pretty good. Don't think we need Ashiok. Oh, I don't think we need Ashiok. We didn't see any Mystic Sanctuaries from them, right? And we didn't see. Yeah, I think it's okay. So then we go. What are we cutting? Ice-Fang was pretty medium. In theory, it could be okay to donk down their Planeswalkers, but I think the way we won that game is going to be emblematic of the way we're going to win these games in general. And cut maybe one Fact or Fiction. And then rock like this. I don't know about these EEs. Seems bad here, but seems really good here. Having an out for Teferi 3 is like pretty important. Can blow up Ice-Fangs and Snapcasters. I guess a Miser's Ashiok can wipe their graveyard for Snapcaster and shut down their fetching. Maybe we'll do a Scientician split. Yeah, alright, EE sketch. Okay, yeah, I wasn't feeling great about EE. Maybe this is better. Scientician split instead of that, actually. No, we'll just bring in the full Ashioks. 2 Ashioks, no EE. No fear. Veil of Summer makes me considerably more fearless. We talk about how many Remands we drew that game. Remand is a great freaking Magic card. Remand is gross. Good lord. Okay, can we also point out for my opponent's sake that turn to Ice-Fang Coatl put us under a lot of pressure. This is like colossally medium, right? We can't keep this. 25 land deck, that's not enough to make this a keep. They snapped off their 7, but I don't think we can keep this. It's got Veil Force, but like I think we just want more lands. That's much better. Keep this bottom. Flooded Strand? Yeah. Astrolabe? Okay, we didn't see any Astrolabes in the previous game. That's interesting. That was a reasonable length game. Fetches fuel Uro. You are correct. You are correct, sir. Got Remand Force here against. Oof. He's back, Roy, the big nasty. Big nasty Ice-Fang. Is he going to go the distance this game? You think? Are they roaring me? Or did they miss a land drop? Oh, I'm excited. Damn it. It's never a missed land drop. Always getting roid. I have roid rage. When I get roid, I rage. Second Ice-Fang. Alright, that's mildly threatening. Do I remand this because I have Force and then... Nah. This does mean not having Ice-Fang, not having EE is pretty bad here. Because they're just going to be cracking in for 2 every turn and there's literally nothing I can do about it. So maybe boarding out all the Ice-Fangs was bad. Turns out a 1/1 with Flash is pretty good. Next turn, we're going to cast an Uro, but not this one. Wow! And even if I remand it, they can just recast it? Shit. That's a lot of pressure. Yikes. So maybe next game we'll bring back the Ice-Fangs for our growth spiral. See, they're not casting anything for me to remand. This is so tilting. Okay, so we're gonna play an Uro here, gain 3 or 1 Ice-Fang hit as the new English. Draw land, draw land, draw land. That's not a land. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. Ice-Fang Tron. They have the 4th one? I'm gonna tilt off if they have the 4th one. I'm tilting right into the deep end of a... Whoa! That is so not okay. We have no win condition if they do that, right? And this is our turn? Shit, do I scoop? Oh, crap. If this resolves, do I have no win? I don't know if I can win if they do this. No, I know I have a Remand. It's a freaking surgical, dude. It's a surgical. It's my turn. I can't force. Dude, we can't counter the surgical. It's not possible. But the question is, do we scoop? If I can go infinite turns, I could Ashiok mill them out, because we can mill them for 40 plus Thought Scour. I can Ashiok mill them for 40, or if yeah, and then Thought Scour them. So losing the one out of my hand is the thing I'm really tilted about, but there's nothing I can do about this. The fact that I had one in hand is so brutal. Like obviously surgicaling my Uros is awful. All right, we're gonna play a couple more turns of this, see if I can stabilize, but I'm gonna play it for a couple more turns. We're gonna play our turns real quick. We'll probably just die to the Ice-Fang beatdown anyway. I know that we could have scooped and saved them from being able to look at our deck. I'm not worried about that. They saw our entire deck last game, and I don't think that the way we sideboarded is super important. We get to see more of their deck this way post-board. So we'll see if my Ashioks are at all relevant. They're probably not, and I should probably bring back the Ice-Fangs. This is a very unique way to lose a game of Magic, and I definitely wasn't expecting the surgicals. I might board one Uro out. 4chan posted our deck picks anyway. I don't believe you. That is a lie. Okay, so now we Thought Scour our opponent. Because I have no Uros to escape. Okay, we're on the Deckham plan. David Deckham. Alright. Okay, Mystic Sanctuary resets my Thought Scour. Now we can realistically deck them. I don't think we'll get the chance to, but I think without Uro, the chance of us getting enough mana going to do what I'm planning to do is not likely. We have to find our Ashioks and then start looping, and then, yeah. I do want to see more of their deck, though. I want to see if they have Teferi 3. I want to see if they have Teferi 5. See if we can draw anything relevant here. I suppose it's an instant, so. Play a tapped reading pool. Okay, good, good. I was like, oh, I don't really want to shock that. Okay, good. I didn't. They know our 60. If we're gonna deck them, we're not gonna make it. I don't know if that's true. Snapcaster, sure. Surgical, sure. So Remand does work great against Flashback. Boosh. Lose your spell forever, nerd. Lose it. Although the Snapcaster beatdown is more terrifying than anything else. They forced my Remand on their Surgical. We need to deck them within 4 turns. Yeah, you're right. I'm done with this one. Well, we can start Cryptic locking them, but they have counter magic, so. And we don't have extra draws, so that doesn't really work. Okay. So Ashioks were not great. And I think I could board out 1 Uro, bring 3. I want the 4th Ice-Fang. 1 Archmage's Charm could go out here. Okay. This is probably a lot better. What are you merp about? That was an amazing game. I'd board out 1 Force of Negation. For what? You want me to keep the Archmage's Charm? I think Force of Negation is pretty darn important here. I mean, I think we can bring 1 Ashiok, just 1 value Ashiok. Archmage's Charm could be a 2-for-1. I mean, you're not wrong. I think one Ashiok's fine. If we draw a second one, it would be really bad, but one Ashiok's fine. I think... So we have an Uro out. I can take out a Thought Scour. This is a slow-ish matchup. Multiple Thought Scours were really clunky. Oh, the Force of Negation on a Remand. Yeah, that was pretty merp, right? Like, seriously? Singleton UG Tameo. That would be great. This is not my deck, but that sounds like a really good idea for this deck. Yeah, that sounds sick in this deck. You could even just sub out an Uro for it because it finds you Uros really well. I mean, I'm not saying necessarily you should do that. In fact, the fact that this deck is playing 3 Uros is low. The fact that we had 2 in our hand there when we got surgicaled was brutal. Like, we played one, but then the second one got surgicaled. Like, that was so rough. Yeah. All right. Seems okay. No, come on, man. I don't downplay all of your suggestions. I think if you suggested that card, I would be just as likely to accept it. Okay, this is an excellent hand, so I'm going to keep the hell out of this. Worth noting, or not, you cannot Veil of Summer Surgical. So... That Tameo was played in Nexus decks in Standard. That Tameo is really good in this archetype. That you didn't know. Well, you didn't ask, Roy. Wait, no, you probably did. It's worth pointing out we took a single mulligan last game, so there was literally no way we were going to win that. I mean, you can't win a control mirror when you take a single mulligan. Surgical my Mystic Sanctuary. What is your problem? God, that's brutal. What do I even say to that? I mean, I guess if I remand it, then they have to pay 2 again, but like... What is this? Alright, I guess we're playing with no sanctuaries. I guess that puts them down a card? I can't do anything about this, right? This is messed up. This card is messed up. It's really good right now again. Go figure. Time Warp Cryptic Sanctuary. No, it's Nexus of Fate and Uro. So technically we don't need the Mystic Sanctuaries, but there's 3 of them in the deck, so that's cutting me down on 3 lands. But more importantly, every fetch land I have is like extra value. The growth spirals are extra value. So like it means all the ramping is extra value in a bunch of different ways. It's just so obnoxious. Like, we don't need them, but that's like it's really frustrating. It's mildly crippling to lose. Are they roying me again with their 6 sequencing? They are. You son of a bitch. Why don't I just surgical your Misties so you just don't have land drops? Huh? Ashiok. So we got Remand. Cool. We have Veil for other things. Although we don't have a counter right now. So that Ashiok could come back and be real good. I can't reset my Remand. Oh boy. Alright. We can Veil the Ashiok activation, though. Twice. So that's something. Not having Sanctuaries is so crippling. Field doesn't do anything for me here. I think I want to fire off my fetch lands ASAP. It's not mildly crippling, it's more like stubbing our toe. I don't know if you've played these kind of decks before. I feel like without the Mystic Sanctuary engine they're pretty... like you... What is this sideboard? Sure. I guess I lose all my remands now? God, I'm going to be down to like no interaction. God forbid if they find a Snapcaster Mage. And I guess they get to see my hand here, so they know that I can't deal with the Ashiok. Goodness. Yeah. I'm just glad I didn't have a freaking remand in my hand. They knew I couldn't counter that, and I don't have Engineered Explosives in my deck now. I could Veil to try to draw a counter. I could Factor Fiction to try to hit a Force of Negation. I think that's the best possible line. I mean, I did it, but I can't have a blue card. They know I don't have a blue card if they're smart. Crap. They get to Teferi bounce their Arkham's Astrolabe. This is just so frustrating. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Why is your deck so perfect against this one? Boo, we were going to get a 4-1. Which is not the end of the world, but like, Christ. Is there a right choice here? Fetch lands aren't as powerful as they are otherwise. I think I have to take the Cryptic. That sucks. Yeah. No, I mean, it is what it is. I took my percentage play. I didn't realize when I took it that I needed to also... Oh my god, and they roid me off of that too, because they get to bounce their Astrolabe and then replay the Astrolabe with Field of Ruin Astrolabe. Like, jeez. Fetch lands are effectively blanks. Not yet, they're not. Not yet, they're not. So if I play Uro, I can't... Cryptic. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I have no idea why they didn't cast their Astrolabe. They should have, but... Bouncing their Teferi is like so bad here, but playing my Uro is even worse, so I guess we're doing that. The fact that we didn't draw a Mystic Sanctuary and play it early in this game, like we did that last game, but we didn't do it this game. Do they have Veil? Oh god. You know what? I'm done. I'm done for tonight. I don't want to play any more of this match. They just have every possible tool. So I think though that they're onto something with that. I can't Veil of Summer. They have a Teferi. Oh yeah, no, what they were doing. Yeah, I guess they were, and I mean that makes sense. But like, there's no, I have no outs. I'm done at that point. There's literally no line I can take. They're fully defended because I can't Veil of Summer. I play Uro and I ramp into 3 mana, which doesn't get me anywhere, and then they play their Ashiok and we're done. So we found a deck that lined up perfectly against us, and worth noting that the other deck that we lost to was a Teferi deck. That one was just especially unfortunate feeling because game 1 went so well and it was so cool. Our deck got to do this super powerful thing that it's clearly capable of. And in game 2 and 3, they had Surgical Extraction, which completely tore us apart. and Teferi and Ashiok. So this deck is super cool. I like this a lot. It was actually considerably better than I thought it would be. If I wanted to improve this deck, I would say it should either splash a third color. So white for Teferi on our side could be a reasonable thing to do. Red for something like lightning bolts to interact with things could be okay. If we go into white for Teferi, we can play Arkham's Astrolabe in the mana base, play some Teferis. I don't know if that's that good because Teferi doesn't interact with Teferi, which is the biggest problem for this deck. You can play Teferi 5, but Teferi 5 plus Wilderness Reclamation is a little bit redundant, though they did do it in Standard. Slim on win cons, a little too slim. Yeah, I think a creature land or two would be really appropriate here. If you went into Sultai like the previous Mystical Teachings versions did, you get access to Creeping Tarpit. Creeping Tarpit is pretty good in here, I would think. So Sultai gives you Assassin's Trophy, Abrupt Decay, and Creeping Tarpit. So you can gain a few slots by cutting one Nexus of Fate, maybe one Factor Fiction, and then that also gives you access to things like Fatal Push out of the sideboard against red decks, because we didn't play against mono red prowess, but I feel like they could definitely beat this up pretty hard. Obviously, there's Aether Gust on the sideboard. There's also in the 5-0 dump, and every deck is a 3-2 deck in Modern, and I have a feeling that, almost every deck is a 5-0 deck in Modern. If it's well put together, if it has a reasonable plan, you can get lucky enough to get a 5-0. I don't know if we'll ever see this one in the 5-0 again, just because Teferi seems so devastating. You have so few answers for it, but if you only have room for one Tarpit, you want to keep Sanctuary. And you dislike this deck compared to other mid-range control decks. Well, it's not really a mid-range deck, right? This is like a somewhat linear deck that also exploits the Cryptic Command Mystic Sanctuary engine. It's like a very defensive linear deck, I would say. Because, these are interaction, these are interaction, these are interaction. But the rest of this deck is... Oh, these are interaction. Okay, there's an awful lot of interaction, but, this many slots on ramp and combo that aren't good interaction in Modern, it's pretty powerful. It's a pretty powerful proactive deck that just plays a little bit of interaction here. It's like combo control. Yeah. But the combo is not two pieces. The combo is a big deterministic or a big semi-deterministic engine. So I think you could lean into a more controlling shell like they used to play with Mystical Teachings. I wonder if that deck is playable at all right now. And then you'd also want to go Sultai, or maybe you could play 4-color snow mana, so that you could play Mystical Teachings, just splash black for the flashback and maybe some sideboard cards, if you want to go completely nuts. Anywho, this was a good time. I had some good leagues tonight. 2 3-2s, nothing to write home about, but, solid Magic played and some interesting decks. Roy, thank you always for being around. Thanks for plugging the stream for me when I didn't want to take time off out of the video. For anyone watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, check out the Twitch stream. And you guys have yourself a great night, great week. Stay socially distanced and play some great Magic. We'll see you real soon.